Hello and welcome to the JfG Podcast. This is episode 238. My name is Alex. I'm joined by my very good friend Ash. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
No bad, buddy. We're here to talk about some video games, aren't we? And that sort of thing.
I love video games. You know what people say about me?
What's that?
I love trains.
You love trains? Yeah, that's the first thing they'll say. But after that...
Video games.
Well, that was going to be number 3.
Oh.
Number 2 was going to be, he's a bit of a bellend, but...
He's a massive chode.
absolute jockey.
Yeah.
But no. But yeah, no. Video games, buddy.
Yeah.
I've been playing some. You've been playing some. I do need to inform you before we get started that
Please.
I just been on the old Sky website, and I have switched my internet provider.
Fuck off. Why would you do such a thing?
I would do such a thing because Sky have got a January sale on at the moment, and they're offering me the exact connection speed and package I have with BT for half the price.
I can see why you've done that.
So BT are charging me 50 quid for about 55 meg and line rental. Sky are quoting me 65 to 70 meg speeds. Same upload speed and line rental all in for £25 a month.
That's a bargain. Totally.
That seems pretty good.
But you're out of contract and whatever you then.
Yeah, I was rolling, out of the sort of minimum period or whatever.
Yeah,
and you don't even got to speak to your current provider. You just go and speak to someone new, and they're like,
I like that.
There
now.
you go.
Like,
I do.
It's so much easier than having to faff about with. Oh, okay, yeah, oh, okay, cancel, yeah. Oh, yeah, activate this now, and then it all just goes wrong.
Gibbon.
Always
I mean, they
wrong.
should set it up so that it switches seamlessly in theory. But I'll keep the podcast.
It's the same with like energy supplies and stuff like that now, isn't it? You just I want to switch, ring them up. Yeah, mate, I'm with it. Sort it out, and they're like, I'll do that for you.
Yeah,
that's how it
it's
should
the first
be.
time I've jumped ship from a service that I was completely happy with. To be honest. I've had no real issues with my internet. I thought for a while I was getting quite slow.
I quit this podcast.
It's all over.
I'm done. I'm having too much good time with it, but the overheads are just...
It's too much for him.
It's too much, mate. I couldn't do this for half the price.
Yeah.
On my own.
Yeah. So anyway. It's always a little bit of a dangerous game when you move from something that works perfectly. I'm just crossing my fingers that
it'll be fine. Either way,
I think it will.
Don't worry about it.
A small organisation.
No, they've been about for a while.
Yeah,
I've heard of them.
So I'll see if I get any faster speeds. I'd imagine I'll get exactly the same as I am now.
I reckon so. But
there'll be a Sky router down there rather than a BT one,
which will make little to no difference.
Absolutely fuck all. So hopefully my gaming will remain unaffected, and I was careful to do it on a Wednesday because in theory that means that the switchover should happen midnight on a Wednesday, meaning I'll have internet for the podcast, and they've also got 2 days to get me sorted for game night, so it was carefully
thought ahead.
Calculated.
I like it.
Given.
It's good planning. I got some new sofas today. They turned up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Didn't plan on, over the Christmas holiday.
You ordered them though,
yeah? I did. We went out to go and get some pictures for the wall. Ended up buying some sofas because
can happen.
You sit on it and you're like, this is nice. Probably buy it now. Yeah.
Yep.
Did that. They turned up. They didn't deliver the footstool though. I can't wait to get my footstool, mate.
Oh, very nice.
I can't wait. I've lived all my life. I mean, I got a footstool in my room here for me because I like a good footstool, but never had one in the living rooms, and I can't wait.
Doubles as a very tiny table. You can pop a lap tray on and just lean forward and eat your turkey burgers and chips off it, buddy. So that'd be
sounds tasty.
That'd be nice. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, buddy, video games or wait?
Well, just before we go there, one more interjection before we move into video games. Have you been watching The Masked Singer, buddy?
I haven't. What is this guy?
I've been watching The Masked Singer.
Is it like Marshmallow?
I've done other things as well that I'm not proud of recently, which kind of suggests I might be moving towards some like lowest common denominator cunt. For example, last week I did a miniature food shop in Iceland and quite enjoyed it. So I'm starting to get a little bit worried that I'm becoming like the fucking Gogglebox IT generation, and I'm going to start enjoying like Mrs. Brown's Boys and stuff, which I can't really envisage happening at this point, but in theory, like it's possibly like The Masked Singer is a gateway drug towards that sort of alleged comedy.
At work, though, you can talk about more stuff with people.
With all those cunts as well, I don't really want to. I
struggle because they want to talk about things, and they're like, "Oh, have you seen this?" I'm like, "No."
Have you seen Love Island?
Yeah,
no, fucking haven't.
No, I haven't.
I'd rather hit myself with a brick.
Yeah,
but you know. I don't know. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention The Masked Singer. I can't stop watching it. It's absolute car crash television. I believe it's been in the States before it was with us, and it was in Korea before that.
What is it?
And it's a collection of celebrities,
right?
Dressing up in ludicrous fancy dress costumes, including a gigantic mask, so you don't know who they are.
Cool.
Participating in a Saturday night singing competition.
If I was famous and had to go on this show, I'd wear a big mask of my face.
Your face might give the game away, or could be considered a double bluff.
Exactly.
Certainly,
who knows?
Possibly narrow things down.
Who knows?
But no, you've got things like tree, some sort of like bumblebee, hedgehog,
Gandalf.
I can't stop watching it. I don't know why, really. They give you clues, but they kind of scramble the celebrities' voices. The thing that I find most compelling about the programme, buddy, is that half of the people participating in the singing competition are professional singers.
Cool.
And half of them aren't. And that means the whole thing doesn't make sense at all. And every single week, the best singer go through, and the worst singers leave the show.
Being the professional singers, I'm guessing.
I don't understand the reasoning for it. And I was like, I don't know, what sort of level of celebrity we're going to have on here, buddy. Let me give you a little rundown of the celebrities we've lost so far.
Are they dead?
Patsy Palmer, a.k.a. Bianca from EastEnders.
Oh, I remember her.
And she was the first one to go, and I was kind of like, well, this sets a precedent of Z-list fucking celebrity bullshit. This is going to be, terrible. Since then, though, we've had Khalees and Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy?
Yeah.
The Tedster.
Teddy Sheringham. I know who at least one of the remaining ones are. The one that's dressed as a giant duck is Skin from Skunk Anansie. I'm sorry to tell anyone who's following it along, but that's who it is. Spoilers.
I don't understand the array of people in this show.
I'm going to stop talking about it now. It probably is very uninteresting to everyone, including yourself.
Hopefully you as well.
I'm sorry, but I love it, and I just felt the need to highlight that fact. I'm not even ashamed. I think I was ashamed, and at this point, that shame has worn off, and it's scary, somewhat terrifying how quickly that shame wore off, buddy.
I don't like it.
So yeah, there you go. That's me.
I'm hoping everyone's going to shame you in the Discord now.
I hope so. Fucking get your talons in, bitches. Come at me.
Get you back on the right side of things, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah, speaking of, I'm drinking some nice beers this evening, buddy. Some Hyde and Wild beers. They got a bear on it, so you know that it's good. And they're the £4 for 4 at the moment in Sainsbury's garage. That's all right.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I'm on the Rhinebacker. It's a £3.
Oh,
cheap beer. No, mate, you can't knock it. Well, you can, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah, you'd be wrong too.
Yeah, so I'm just going to pour a fresh one right now. Other news, mate. I've got a little cut on my eye. That's really annoying me.
Actually on the eye, or sort of near it?
Yeah, just on the eye. I woke up this morning. Bam, there it was. I was like, wow.
That's not what you want.
This hurts a lot.
I'm sure.
It hurts with the eye opened and closed. So there's no,
the twofer.
There's no relief there.
The double whammy.
So
okay. Well,
I'm struggling. I'm not going to lie. Oh, I've had a cold as well since Friday.
The Triplo.
Which is fun.
I think it's called.
Yeah, it's just it's the double fucking.
Yeah, the double fucking. Some people like it, some people don't.
Not a fan.
That's fair.
Not a fan. Yeah.
Reasonable.
So
let's talk about some video games then.
I've played some.
And I'd love to hear, is this your 16th or 17th attempt to get into The Witcher 3, buddy? Where are we now? Where do we stand with it?
It's got to be in the late teens by now. But for some reason...
how is that going?
I don't know. It clicked this time. It seems to be working. I can do the combat. I think previously I was pressing X to dodge, but now I press the dodge button, circle.
There you go.
That works pretty well.
Yeah.
Keeps you close enough to go back in for a couple of stabs.
Yes.
I did have to watch a YouTube video, because obviously I hadn't played it, and I think I'm like level 6 or 7, so I was a way into the game. I saved some devil baby. I don't know. It was a fetus. I did that, and then I've been up a tower and saved some bird. Actually, I got a fisherman to come with me, and he's also dead now.
Nice. Yeah. No.
That
always happened. A good idea.
Yeah. I was like, "You go on, mate. You do it. You kiss her. It'll be all right." And they're dead.
Be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can happen.
But yeah, so I watched like a combat tips for Witcher 3, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot that there's all like abilities and shit you can use. So it was like,
use your hard.
Yeah, you got to use your hard, and then
use your axie,
and your pushy one, and the covery up one, and so I'm going in there. I learned about meditating, which was nice. I was like, oh, right, I meditate.
Important.
Yeah. And one of the helpful hints was get this perk first, because it's really good. And that's the whole thing of you eat something, your health regens for the next 20 minutes. I'm like, I want that. I want that.
Nice.
So I was like straight on it, got that, downed a bottle of water. I was good for 20 minutes of fighting, happy days. And yeah, it seems to work. It does feel a bit dated, being 4 years old now, or 3.5 years old now, this game. Like issues with cutscenes and whole whatnots. But obviously the scale of this game is massive, and it goes down that whole route of, when we talk about Bethesda games with their incredible bugs that have, come out of those games, and you let it off because of the sheer size and whatever of that game. I must say that the storytelling in this game is a lot better than like Skyrim and other games that I've played of that nature.
It isn't.
It seems to be grabbing me. Yes, having watched the TV show, that does help a lot as well. Because it's good, because like some of the monsters, I'm like, oh, I already kind of know what that is when I come across them, which is cool. And also, it's a bit of the backstory, learning about Ciri and Yennefer and all that not. And yeah, no, I think
it does.
It's a good time to get into The Witcher, and I know JJ's been doing the same, so I hope he's still going on with that.
Yeah, we had a little message from JJ a week or so ago, just saying he's sunk into The Witcher 3, and wow, what a game! And he was saying he was just like he's waiting for Doom at this point, so he needed something to get his teeth into, and it sounds like he's been really enjoying it, and it's a fabulous game.
I think around about now, when not a lot is really coming out, unless you're still playing games from the end of last year, which is possible. Now's a great time to play one of these massive games. Really fucking get stuck into it, and I think I'm going to be. I'm not going to be playing it every day, but a couple of times a week, I'll stick a few hours into it and just slowly plod my way through it. I think it's a case of doing one big quest a night, and I'm like, right, I'm happy with that. Put that down. Come back next quest next time.
Yeah, the decent chunk-sized sort of portions, the different quests in that game, and I mean, for me, there came a point where I was playing it on and off, where I just could no longer stop playing it, and it became all I played for some time. But
that will happen.
See how you go.
That's the beauty of video games, buddy. They have the ability of doing that. But yeah.
Yeah, Gibbons.
So yeah, The Witcher 3, getting stuck into it, buddy. I'm loving it. It's good.
Very nice too. I'm glad.
Obviously, Destiny 2's been about, but who cares about that? What have you been playing, buddy?
I have been playing. What I've been playing most of is a game called Indivisible, which is by Lab Zero Games and was released sometime last year. And it's on Game Pass, so that's why I'm playing it. But I had forgotten about this game. I played sort of an early proof of concept alpha of this on PlayStation quite some time ago now. I don't know when it was actually on there, but it was like a pre-alpha demo. They were crowdfunding the game, and they popped it up on the store to sort of generate some interest there, and I quite liked it. And that's weird because it isn't the sort of game really that I would normally like. So I was attracted to it because it is a 2D platformer, or at least that's what it kind of looked like from the outset. But what it actually is a very tiny bit of 2D platforming, but mostly it's an sort of Metroidvania RPG featuring turn-based combat. So
that's right up your street.
It's a collection of things I don't like.
Yeah, but
there's something about this that I do like, and okay. I don't know. It just seems to all slot together quite nicely. The lead character Ajna is like really well written and voiced. The whole thing's drawn beautifully as well. It's got this sort of kind of manga-esque sort of thing going on, and it looks real good. It looks lovely. This game, the art style is really nice. It's kind of like that Western take on JRPG sort of looking content. I suppose like Final Fantasy to a degree has that, the sort of, Final Fantasy sort of 7 onwards that kind of had that sort of style to it. And yeah, there's just loads to like here. The platforming is like passable and fine. It's got some nice bits and pieces to it. For example, as well as being able to wall jump, you've got an axe which you can just like gouge into a surface and then jump straight up, so that you can get a sort of double jump going against one side before then wall jumping up. The story's kind of a pretty bog standard RPG story. You're estranged from your mum, you are trained by your dad, you come back to find your village burning and you have to avenge everyone, kind of thing. But it's told with like a great degree of comedy, a really good, completely voice acted script, and the main sort of combat mechanic type thing going on here is you can kind of absorb people you meet into your like mind palace. At which point the game sort of becomes Pokemon, in that you've got a roster of people in your head. You can select like 3 of them as well as you to use for battles when you come across enemies. Battles begin in the real world where you either hit an enemy or are hit by an enemy. So you can actually kind of sneak up on enemies and get that first hit in and do like a critical damage before it goes into turn-based mode. And then even when it's in turn-based mode, it doesn't work in that you don't actually have to wait your turn. You've got a bar underneath each character that's the main health, and then you've got buttons above them. So each of the face buttons controls a different character, and they slowly charge up. So if you use A, for example, then it'll slowly charge back up again. And whenever one of those face buttons is fully loaded below, then you can use that attack. So it's kind of a case of daisy chaining together in a sort of really slow shit fighting game type style thing. You can use like different sort of combat multipliers by holding like up and down with your attacks, and so you've got like 3 attacks per person, and they've all got their own different styles. You can have a healer, you can have a area of effect person, or you can just have some dude with a big fuck off sword. And yeah, because of all of that, and the fact that you've got blocking buttons as well for their attacks, it becomes like a whole different thing to a turn-based strategy game. And it's something that I'm really digging, buddy. I'm really enjoying it. I think I've probably played I must be halfway through the thing. I've pumped quite a lot of time into it, and it's really fun. I'd highly recommend it to anyone who's got access to it on their system. It's cool.
Nice. Cool, buddy.
Yeah, it's good shit. Really like it. Elsewhere, I've been playing Dishonored. I think I mentioned last week that I'd picked that up. It's fucking great. So I've been playing lots of that. It's really good. So there's not much that I can say about it other than what I already have. So I won't. I will move on to Yoku's Island Express. This is a game that's been on Game Pass for some time. It's published by Team 17.
It looks rather nice.
It's a nice art style. Looks lovely. Yeah. I didn't really know what this was going to be. It looked like a sort of a puzzle game. That's exactly what it is, buddy.
Right, okay.
It's an island adventure game where you play as an ant pushing like a ball, and you're also a postman. And there's a huge map to explore, and all the different portions of the map, they are a pinball machine, which you can control with the triggers. Some of them are like multicolored, and that means you can use either trigger to use them. You've got to collect mango fruit to unlock more flippers to get to higher places and locations. And it's just a pinball game, a beautifully presented Calypso forest adventure island game. It's really weird. Do you like the look of it? Having had a sort of brief,
having looked at about 3 minutes of video, I don't know. I like pinball games. I've played them in the past. What was the classic one? Was it on Windows 95 or something? The space one? I can't remember now. Anyway, I'm confused. Very, very confused. There's this ant. He's attached to a pinball that gets flung around this pinball level, and like you say, there's bits of mango to pick up. I mean, that's going to be infuriating, surely, trying to get
it's like pinball.
Yeah, but it's also like a platformer where you can walk around, and I'm
finding it a little bit tricky pathfinding at the moment, I have to say, because so often you find it's a little bit difficult to control where you're going, and also
because it's pinball.
Because it's pinball, and also kind of snakes,
I think that's where I was going with it.
I mean, if you get on a flat surface, you can walk about. I think I also forgot to mention that very early on in the game, you're given like a party whistle, which shoots glitter. And you could use it to wake up creatures around the levels, and also blow up walls by just going. Like, I don't know why that's a thing either. I don't know why any of it.
Pinball time is party time.
I don't know why they. I mean, I would have probably suggested like a dung beetle would have been a better protagonist for this game, because they physically do move balls around.
Maybe,
but we've gone for a fire ant. He's friendly enough.
He's a nappy chappy. Has he got a name?
He controls very nicely. I think he's probably called Yoku, based on the title of the game. But
I didn't know if that was the name of the ball.
I don't know for sure.
Or maybe that's like some cunt.
I haven't been paying attention, if I'm honest. I can tell you that when you arrive on the island, you are given the title of postman for the island by the outgoing postman, who is a pterodactyl with a briefcase.
I feel like he'd be a better postman, being able to fly.
Well, he fucked off early doors, and I spoke to a giant snake that wanted to eat me, and he was like, "You can't come through here unless you get me a mushroom." And then I completed several pinball challenges to get 2 different mushrooms. And then I gave him the one that was poisonous.
You didn't.
But he didn't die. It just said that he went to sleep for a long time.
Ah.
I think it's a game for children, buddy, but that's never stopped me before.
I feel like this is really hard and difficult. I don't think children could handle this.
I didn't find it that annoying, if I'm honest. Each area is kind of separated quite nicely, so none of the pinball levels that I've come across so far are too big and unmanageable. And that helps. And also, you kind of, once you get from one area to another, then you're kind of you're there. You know, there's no danger of falling all the way back to the start. So it's kind of manageable, bite-sized chunks of a pinball machine. It's a very clever game. Whether it's a very good game, I'm not sure yet. But it's weird, and I quite like it.
Yeah, intrigued.
Gibbons.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing on my own, buddy. The only other one I've been playing is something that it would appear you've had a little tuck into as well, buddy.
I had a little go on it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
So this is A Plague Tale Innocence, which I had played the demo of.
Isn't it colon Innocence?
Months. It is colon Innocence, if a colon can be innocent, which, you know, jury's out on that one. But yeah, A Plague Tale colon Innocence. It is a video game. It is the third person adventure
set in France
video game.
In the 1400s or something like that.
Yeah, it's what you would probably describe as a double A game, I suppose.
Quadruple half A's.
Didn't have the budget,
and that shows.
It does show. I mean, it looks really nice at times. Sometimes it looks a little bit rough as fuck.
The movement's not the best.
I'm noticing some really weird graphical stuff, and I don't know how much of that is to do with my.
Yeah, it might be the shit heap. Yeah, might be.
Certainly, it seems to me that the characters, you and your brother, it seems like they're rendered at a lower resolution than the world on the Xbox, and so are the rats. Like they look fucking 480p. Like
boxes,
like 20 frames a second shit. Like I can't really understand. There's definitely some selective rendering going on here.
Yeah, more than likely.
Which is fine. You know, I expect everything to look terrible on the Xbox One. It's what I signed up for when I bought it. So
yeah, you did.
Anyway, this is an action adventure horror third person game. Mainly utilizing stealth. That's the main sort of thing, because you're a young girl and you're being chased and fought by like soldiers with swords and shit. You're obviously not going to win that battle often. And this game incorporates lots and lots of things that most people, if they heard it's a video game that does this, most people who play games regularly would be like, that doesn't sound good. For example, the entire game seems to be an escort mission, which is, always a concern. Can work.
Good show.
Can work. Last of Us, for example. This isn't The Last of Us.
No.
Also,
you're escorting a small child that's retarded.
Those of us whose favourite moment in the original Gears of War was the bit where we had to stay in the light to avoid being eaten by the krill, aka
that was good fun.
No cunt. You'll be pleased to see the exact identical mechanic being used here with rats on the floor that you have to kind of avoid by burning torches and braziers and that sort of thing. What do you think of this? How long have you played it for? What are your initial thoughts?
About an hour, I would say. I've stuck about an hour into it, so I've done pretty much the first tutorial mission, gone through there, and then headed out for a tiny bit. Setting off, it got me from the go. The storyline or the characters, they seem pretty decent. I was like, okay, I'm a 13, 14-year-old girl or whatever. Hunting with my dad. I love my dad. Oh, I love my dog as well, which is always nice. Oh, I can fire a slingshot. That's pretty cool. Going through that. Obviously, things kind of take a turn for the worse at the beginning. Immediately, I thought, Last of Us, she's going to die. This wasn't the case, she doesn't die, but someone does. Not, well, yeah, they die as well, actually, at some point. But it was quite gripping, I must say. It had that kind of gravitas. Let's say that's not a word I like to use, but it had it. So it was putting on the old heartstrings straight away, and it was freaky deaky enough not to scare the balls off me to start off with, which was nice. Let's put it that way. And then continuing on through that, like I said, I didn't enjoy the movement of the characters. It felt quite janky. The animations weren't nice and smooth. Like, I mean, you think back to original, like, Assassin's Creed. Like, that game's fucking old. But the movement in that game where, you know, you could move through crowds and things like that, it was nice, you know, and that's a game that's very old. And even just like the basic animation of moving and jumping and stuff was nice and smooth. So this is a game that came out in 2019, and I know we're saying it's like a double A game, but I feel like character movement, animation stuff really shouldn't be as not poor, but you know, it should be more lifelike in a way.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to compare this to a game that was made with a similar sized team and budget, then take a look at Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. And tell me which game looks like it's a 2019 game and which one looks like a 2010 game. There's some real graphical issues here. As I said, it does sometimes look really nice though.
Yeah, the lighting
in
and
the
stuff,
right light with the light areas. Like
it can really pop.
Nice, but as you say, like controls wise, it's not really up to snuff, is it?
Yeah, and then, like you said, it seems to prey off a lot of other games in the sense of its gameplay, really. Immediately, it's like, oh, get in the thick, long grass. I'm like, oh, okay, I've done this before. I get you. Crab about. And then it's a case of, right, wait for the NPCs to say, now it's time to go. And you go. I get it. It's teaching me the mechanics of the game. The whole thing of diversions, like throw a stone over there, hit the pots and pans, pick up a pot and throw the pot, and it will distract the guards to walk past them. It's nothing amazing. We've seen it in so many games. I'm thinking like Tomb Raider, Uncharted, Last of Us.
I think that's probably my biggest issue with the game is that the actual gameplay is stale as fuck, and frankly also quite boring. Like, yeah, I mean, and also another thing that I found is, for example, at the point that I was up to last night, you're in a field. There's 4 guards. It's the most enemies that it's had, like, thrown at you.
In one point, yeah.
You're in tall grass. There's a table in the tall grass with a bowl on it. I mean, I don't know who put that there. That's not my concern. That's not my issue, but I do wonder.
You're going to pick that bowl up, mate.
What that's doing there. So I threw the bowl, and I wasn't really paying close enough attention to what I was doing, to the point where I threw it slightly too far. And credit to the game, or not, depending on how you look at it, it highlights who's going to hear it based on where you throw it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying close enough attention and didn't realise that a soldier who was further away and facing a direction that I didn't need to distract, I didn't need to bother him at all. He was going to hear the bowl smash. So he did, and he turned round and he stood in a position that stopped me from progressing completely.
Yeah.
And then they all reset.
Going back to their same points.
And then I'm in the long grass without a bowl.
Yeah.
And no way to progress.
Yeah.
And I had to
reload.
Well, I tried to run. And another brilliant mechanic that this game has, he says, with intense sarcasm, is if a guard gets close enough to you, they will just one shot kill you instantly, and there's nothing you can do. It just goes into a cutscene and you're dead, like Hello Neighbor or something like that.
That's a good analogy.
There's problems. There's problems here, and the story and the story is quite nice. I like the story. Clearly, the kid is like possessed with an evil. And that's exciting. It's well acted as well, especially for foreign actors, like speaking a non-native language. But it's not enough, is it? Like,
no,
gameplay's not good enough, and it doesn't play nicely.
I think that's where this game got the majority of its accolades and stuff from. Was the storyline, the actors, how it progresses. Not for its incredibly unique gameplay.
It's not perfect.
No, I think I'll stick a few more hours into it, see where it goes. Because, like you say, I'm interested. Like I said, like it got me from the start. I was like, okay, wow, this looks a bit weird and could be interesting. Let's see where this goes.
There's a bit of tension there, certainly at the start when you're sort of sneaking through the house with all the guards coming in, killing all of your friends and staff and everything. It did a good job there, and it's done a good job a couple of times since. I was sort of taken in by this old woman who hid us from the townspeople in the third level, and all the conversations and stuff. It's nice. It's well done. It's good stuff, but the actual gameplay is very, very shallow and not very good. It's just not very good.
No,
it's a problem.
Which is a shame, buddy.
It is. Yeah. I was kind of looking forward to playing it. As I said, I'm halfway through the 5th level, and I did actually look up to see how long it was, because I was like, am I willing to continue playing this to get to the end of it? And it said there's like 17 chapters, including the epilogue, at which point I turned it off. So I was like, no, because that sounds like about 6 hours of gameplay that I'm just not willing to put in. Not when there's Game Pass and there's lots of other options.
Yeah, there's always something else, buddy, on the horizon.
See hard gibbon. So, there you go. That's that, unfortunately.
Gibbons, buddy.
And that's a collection of games that we've been playing this week, buddy. I know that we don't do a sort of traditional structured show anymore, and we don't have news and stuff, but we have had the announcements of Games for Gold and PS Plus since the last show.
Yeah, we might as well talk about them, I guess. They're coming out in February.
This is February. Games with Gold. We've got Isle of Man TT on Xbox One, which I'm looking forward to playing. It was pretty well reviewed and something a bit different. So, yeah, that should be fun. The other Xbox One game is Call of Cthulhu, the relatively new one, sort of 2017 or 2018, I think it was, that one. I watched a full playthrough on Angori Tom's channel with Simon from the Yogscast on that, so I definitely won't be playing that, but I quite enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, we got Fable Heroes. That's the 360 backwards compatible title, which is kind of a sort of Fable Clash of Clans sort of take, I suppose. And finally, Star Wars Battlefront, the original Star Wars Battlefront, the Xbox original version. That is going to be on Games with Gold as well, which is kind of cool. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. I mean, I think it's good that all of these 360 games and stuff or whatever that they bring out are all backwards compatible. And it just means good news for, I guess, Series X investors as well. You know, if you've got if you are an Xbox gamer and have Xbox whatever, Gold and Ultimate or whatever, or just Gold even, to be honest, so that's all you need for these games. You know, you've already got a massive library of games there ready for you. Like, I don't know if they'll do anything to make them run better. Probably not, but they should run better. Loading times will be good.
Absolutely. I'm already noticing that with, the Orange Box always had terrible loading times on the 360 and very quick on the Xbox One, which is maybe the least you should expect, but it's a nice thing anyway.
Yeah, true.
So, that's Xbox. That's Games with Gold. Moving over to Sony's offerings. That's the PS Plus titles for February. We have got, firstly, the BioShock collection. So that's BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. The remastered versions of those two games. And then Infinite's just Infinite. Yeah. That's cool. I've nearly bought that like 15 times.
Yeah, I know, which is nice, getting something that we haven't bought, which is really, that we actually want to, or you actually want to play. I don't.
Yeah, I totally want to go back through those games again. I really, really enjoyed the first two, and Infinite. I famously stayed up to play at midnight when it unlocked on Steam. And then played through the whole game in one sitting until about 10:30 in the following morning. So
that's dedication, Holmes.
It was, and I haven't played it since. That's the only playthrough I've ever had of that game. So
it's time to dip your toe back in.
I think so. Elsewhere, you got The Sims 4 on PS Plus. I think a lot of people will play that. Actually,
I'll play that. That'd be funsies. I think I played it on PC, or was that The Sims 3? I can't remember. There's been so many Sims and so many hours wasted to The Sims in my life.
Yeah, get ready for some sort of EA sale where they've got all their hundreds and hundreds of DLC content for that. That'll all be there. And the added bonus for PSVR players, which is something that we'll actually discuss shortly. Actually, we've got a message from old friend of the podcast, Funk, this week. But Firewall 0 Hour, which is a sort of co-op-y multiplayer shooter that's apparently very good. I've nearly bought a few times, and is compatible with the weird PlayStation VR gun. That is also on PS Plus for February. So, if you're a PSVR player, then you get that as well, in addition to BioShock and The Sims. So, there you go.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll buy the gun. Maybe. I don't know how much it is. Like 30 quid, maybe?
I think it's more than that. You probably get a second-hand one, but I think last time I looked, it was 60 quid for the game and the gun combined.
Motherfuckers.
Maybe CEX is your friend for that sort of thing.
Maybe.
Pick it up a bit cheaper. You'd probably want to get Farpoint if you did have the gun, just because it's the other game designed for the gun, and you pick it up for like £15. So
true.
But yeah, either way, I think that's a decent offering from both of them, really, from Microsoft and from Sony. On this particular February. Although maybe I'm just saying that because I think someone mentioned in our Discord chat a little while ago, like the whole of 2019, everything on those services I seemed to already own. There was just nothing for me for the whole year.
I know. So, it's nice that there's a few games now that are coming out that we haven't got. I think that's because we've stopped buying games, which makes... I think that was the biggest thing of last year, was we didn't just buy every fucking game.
Gibbons.
Which was good and also bad. Good,
it was
because
both.
It was a hell of a lot cheaper year, but bad because we didn't play all the games.
Yeah, it's a hard gibbon, buddy.
Indeed.
By the way, there you go. That's gaming. All the gaming news you're getting. To be honest, there isn't any news anyway. It's January.
I've got some fucking news for you. This is straight off the press today. I saw this and I was like, this is noteworthy news. Atari.
I've seen this.
Are making Atari hotels.
Apparently they are.
So there you go. It's going to be some Atari themed hotels knocking about the place. There's one breaking ground on construction this year in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm very excited. Other Atari hotels are planned at Las Vegas, Denver, Chicago, Austin, Seattle, San Francisco, and San Jose. I believe that's how it's said.
It certainly is. Weird.
Yeah, there's going to be virtual reality, and I don't know what.
Known
what
for
are they
VR
doing?
Atari.
Yeah. So that's some news for you. Just throwing it out there, just for fun.
That is strange.
Yep.
Strange news.
That's what I'm here for, buddy. That's what I'm here for.
I don't even know. What was the last thing they made?
They're making a new console.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. I don't think it's out yet. I think it got delayed. Oh, is it? Or maybe like the like.
Wasn't it called the Atari box?
I mean, I feel like you're getting it mixed up with the Mad Box.
No, I think it was called
my
the
favorite
Atari
console that hasn't been made yet. Is it the Atari box? I don't know. It could be. I reckon. I think
it was codenamed the Atari box. I think it's due out soon.
Yeah,
I think
it got delayed like from the back of last year, I believe.
Yeah.
But don't trust me. I don't know anything.
I'm not sure, and I'm not willing to look it up.
And also, who cares?
I think it was March. I think it's coming out in March. This thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know who wants it. I don't know.
I'm going on April. I don't know who wants to play Atari games this day and age. I mean,
I don't know. People older than us.
People older than us, I guess.
And we're pretty old.
We are old.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Either way, I wouldn't trust them to run a hotel or release a video game. I saw a fucking quote this week, which I loved, from Konami. I must find it. I must find it immediately. It was referring to the fact that they're bringing out there's a couple of Silent Hill games in development. It was the most fucking Konami ass. It was just
not slogan.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Phrasing.
Oh, let me find it.
They Konami'd it. Nice. I like it. Talking about Konami, PES 2020. I'm going to say the worst ever online experience I've ever had.
It is bad online.
It's the worst online experience I've ever had, I think. And that's going up against Battlefield 1943 when it didn't even work for a week. At least I couldn't play that.
That's a fair point. Konami, here we go. Yes, I've got it. Konami has 2 new Silent Hill games in development. This is a direct quote from Konami. This is their press release. We are considering ways to provide the next title.
We are considering ways
to provide the next title. What does that mean?
What are these ways?
Well, probably a fucking pachinko machine, if I'm honest. But I just love that.
I was thinking more like wizardry or sorcery or something.
Every time you fire up PES and it bombards you with ridiculous things like sending and receiving the necessary data in order to play. Every time you try to just play a game. Yeah. So Konami, they are considering ways to provide the next Silent Hill title, buddy. So
good news.
Yeah, probably make a video game. That'd be one way. It's an option.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll go with that way.
Yeah. Let's move on to some sort of bumper edition of Street Beat, buddy, because we've had quite a lot of correspondence since Christmas, and we haven't mentioned any of it.
It's true.
On the podcast.
Because, we just don't care. But we actually do. We just totally forgot because we're like
secretly. We're the leather jacket wearing motherfucker in the high school film who pretends not to care, buddy, but deep down we've got a heart of gold. And and here we are now. So firstly, let's kick things off with something from our cheeky friendly neighbourhood, Grandma Funk, who says the following, having been playing a bit of old Hunt a Call of the Wild this week.
Very jealous.
I rather enjoyed last week. Funk says, I've delved a bit deeper into that hunting game, and it's excellent. You can save up points and build little hides and raised platforms. Use lures to call in certain animals and shit. You find resting zones and feeding and watering zones where certain animals go within a few hours window each day. It's even got a little campaign mode built in where the dude rings you and asks you to do shit for him, like take a picture of a bear family or check on someone's homestead and shit. he's balls deep in fucking Hunter Call of the Wild, buddy.
This guy loves it.
I feel partly responsible. It's no, it's cool, man. It's really what this game is trying to do is awesome, and I think a lot of people will dismiss it because hunting games. I think we said last week, hunting games traditionally have been shit.
Yes,
but, this is not shit. This is a good game with some bugs. But
obviously,
but a good game nevertheless. So Funk moves on. He says this: I'm dying to have a Star Trek VR 3-way. Feels like we have a potentially hilarious and brilliant game just sitting there waiting for us. How many of the other pod listeners actually have VR? So yeah, Funk wants to play Bridge Crew, buddy.
I want to play Bridge Crew. I've got it installed. I'm ready to go.
We need to make ourselves available.
Next Monday, I'm there.
I'm down with that.
There we go. Pencil it in. Where's my secretary?
Get on it. Penciling it in. Penciled. Bridge Crew. That's going to be fun. In answer to his question, how many of the other pod listeners actually have VR? I don't know that any do.
Mel has.
Mel had it. I think he sold it, didn't he?
Or did he sell it? I don't know.
Can't remember now. Maybe he doesn't use it.
Who knows?
I think that I don't think anyone's going to be investing in PSVR so close to the next gen because they're not quite sure in terms of compatibility. But I do wonder, obviously we've got quite a few PC gamer listeners who will no doubt have seen stuff like the Half-Life Alyx announcents and perhaps maybe considering shelling out on a rig, or at least taking some steps towards a new card, perhaps getting a Vive, that sort of thing. It'd be nice to,
especially with all the wireless stuff coming out now with them, which that looks more appealing.
Big difference.
I think I would prefer wireless to like super reds.
Yeah, I would agree, especially with, that was the big problem with the Vive.
What's the other one? Like the room tracing as well.
Yeah.
I think that they are like the next things that really need to happen in VR. Wireless and room tracing, or whatever it's called. So you haven't got to have sensors up. You can see if there's a fucking table or anything in front of you and everything. It's...
well, I mean, you're so best placed. You're probably better placed than most in terms of what that's going to look like with the experience you had with your work lot.
That was good.
Which sounds like it was pretty amazing and basically awesome. Where we need to get to at this point.
That was so good.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what people think. Obviously, you can get in touch on our Discord channel, buddies. If you head to the JfGpodcast.co.uk, then you can find a link to it there. And let us know what you think about VR, whether you think because it's kind of just about sustaining itself, I feel, without necessarily expanding massively from a console perspective, at least. I suppose that's natural with the generation change on its way this year. But I saw that Valve's stock prices rose massively, and I think I read somewhere that Vive pre-orders doubled in the month of January after that announcement as well. So,
yeah.
Looks like there is some movement there, and I mean, whether in its infancy as it is at the moment, you kind of just want anything will help, even if I can't play Half-Life Alyx on a PlayStation VR machine. The fact that it's coming out, that's gonna benefit me as a VR player in the long run. So
totally, because hopefully they're gonna have some new mechanics or something different in there, and then people will rob that for their games.
Absolutely right. Thanks very much for that, Funk. Thanks for getting in touch. And we'll move on. to a message from CozmicDad, who got in touch after I asked, sort of after the dust has settled on 2019. How's everyone feeling about it? Like, what were your favourite things and bits and pieces, and what you're looking forward to? And he kindly obliged with this. So here we go. First of all, a big shout out to Xbox Game Pass for PC. The best £4 a month or £1 for 3 months I've spent this year.
Beautiful.
PS Plus has been absolute shite for me. Practically every game on it I already owned. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
No, what happened?
So Cosmic Dad's top games of 2019, Fire Emblem, Three Houses. This is number one here. I don't know if these are actually in order of preference, but yeah, Fire Emblem, Three Houses. He says it's fantastic, 50 hours to play through, and when I finished, I was already thinking I should play through again. His second choice, Resident Evil 2. The remake, utterly superb remake. I'm on my B playthrough with Claire and loving it. Number 3, Slay the Spire. My just a quick run indulgence, so simple and so much depth. Number 4, he's got Void Bastards. Best and funniest cartoon shooter with upgrades of the year. And then sneaking in number 5, The Division 2. Yes, indeed. I regret buying the Ultimate version, but to be fair, I did spend 60 hours in DC, and I have been back a few times since my character hit 500 for all the new missions. They craft great set pieces in great locations. So yeah, there you go. That's his 5.
Solid 5.
Yeah, you had The Division 2 in your particular list as well, didn't you?
I didn't have Resident Evil 2 because I'm a massive pussy.
He's a pussy hole, and he knows it.
He's a huge pussy hole, and
Absolutely.
I'm too scared.
Cosmic Dad, this is quite funny, I find as well, because I'm very much in agreement here. He says, when I finish it, Control might make it to number 5, but I'm currently in the hate part of my love-hate relationship with it. He says, other games that don't make my list, Destiny 2. I've probably played more D2 than anything this year, but the game now is so far away from what I want it to be that I can't mention it without getting upset. Legend of Zelda. I really like this remake a lot. It was very close. Outer Worlds, excellent first 7 hours. Rest of it was a bit pants. I would have to agree with that. Outer Wilds. I'm obviously completely missed the boat there because everyone thinks it's amazing, and I thought it was very meh. I agree once again. Bloodstained, couldn't get into it. Nor could I, buddy. I tried as well. Baba Is You. He says, while the concept is fucking superb, I actually got fed up with the gameplay pretty quickly because doing well on one level means nothing. Observation. I remember virtually nothing about it, so it can't have been that good. And Book of Demons. Had a good opening and first few hours, but then got so fucking complicated I was scared to press another button and had to uninstall it.
Brilliant.
Book of Demons. He's probably dodged a bullet there, to be fair. It was probably some sort of path to the underworld that he's managed to avoid, so fair enough. And then he's got a list of 2019 releases that he owns but hasn't played yet. Borderlands 3, Man of a Medan, Untitled Goose Game, Telling Lies, Heaven's Fault, Ring Fit Adventure, Shenmue 3, ha ha ha, he says, Phoenix Point, Rage 2, Ape Out, Gears 5, Darksiders 3. Stuff that he doesn't own, but will probably play at some point. Disco Elysium, yes, me too. Death Stranding, yes, me too. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, yes, me too. Luigi's Mansion 3, obviously you know about that one.
It's all right.
And Concrete Genie is a very, very good game as well. Yeah. No, solid. It looks like you found the fun this year in the same way that we did. I mean, everyone's sort of top 5s, top 10s, I feel, are kind of unconventional this year because where there were sort of standout critical acclaim video games most years, I think it was a weak year 2019, and you had to kind of maybe move out your comfort zone a little bit to find the really sort of the stuff that you properly connected with, and that's how we both felt. I had a
racing game in my top 5.
Yeah, you did.
That's weird. That's
it is a little bit.
Luckily, after that, it was just all shooters. So
that's true. things have changed so massively for me. Even though I've only got one first-person shooter on my actual shooter.
Yeah.
I've just got Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered on my PlayStation and nothing else.
That's all you need, mate.
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks so much. It was really interesting to read through and see what you thought.
It's always good fun.
Yeah, cheers for that, buddy. Elsewhere, we had a little bit of a reply from old JJ as well. As I said already, he's sunk plenty of time into The Witcher 3 and is really enjoying it. He's waiting for Doom. I've seen quite a bit about Doom Eternal this week, and it's looking very interesting indeed. I kind of forgot how brilliant the original one was.
It's a very good game. It's a very, very good game.
So yeah. But yeah, JJ was saying about The Witcher. The show got me to give it a try when it went on sale. I don't usually get into these games because of the time sink, but it's so well done. I just keep saying, well, I'll finish this quest.
Yeah.
He says his son's playing too, and it's amazing that they have different stories, which is really cool.
Yeah, so there's so much choice, and you can literally, I mean, within respective like what level you are, you can pretty much go and do whatever quest you want, or you can just go and fuck off to another town, do anything. It's the beauty of these games. But like he says, the time sink, it's like, I say, I haven't got enough time. I mean, I've played like 300 hours of fucking Destiny 2 probably in the past like 2 weeks or something. So obviously I have got the time. But there's something daunting about like a game that's like 80 plus hours or whatever, how much you want to put into it. And it's constantly new material all the way through it. And I don't know, it's a different feeling of just like playing the same thing over and over again, which sounds really boring, it can be. I don't know. I feel life now compared to where it was, like, say 10 years ago or whatever, when I didn't have kids, when I didn't have to do anything, I didn't really have a job. And I played God knows how many hours of Oblivion and stuff like that, and it was just a case of, oh sweet, I can just ignore my life completely and just sink into these games. Whereas now it's like I don't really use games as in the same way. I don't use it. I still use them as like escapism or whatever, but not like to pull me away from doing stuff that I know I should be doing. Now it's just, oh fucking sweet, I've got some time to do something I want to do.
Absolutely.
And, you know, sometimes with these games, it can take time just to do one simple quest. And then if you fail that quest, then you don't know when, oh shit, did I save it before I came in? Like, luckily I found with The Witcher, it's not that bad with like auto-saving, checkpoints and stuff like that. It's pretty decent.
It's good, yeah. For a game of this scale and magnitude, it absolutely is.
Totally. Yeah. Whereas like with Skyrim things, I've lost hours of gameplay through it crashing or whatever. And when a game does that to me, I'm on the brink of going like, well, fuck you. I played Gun, if you ever remember that, on the 360.
Yes, I do remember that.
It's a very, very good Western game. And I was going for like the 100% like achievements on it, because at that point, like I said, I didn't do anything with my life. So I would play games like Gun and try and get all the achievements. And I can't remember, it was very late game anyway, and I had to do so many collectibles or some bollocks like that. And I think I spent about 2.5 hours collecting all these different things from across the map, and it just crashed. And I loaded it up and it was all gone, and I was like, nope,
that's the end of that.
Fuck you. And that is a worry with these big games, when you do lose certain things like that. Definitely fucking worth playing, I think, though, this game. Absolutely. So many people say it's good. It's got to be good, no?
I mean, it's absolutely monumentally brilliant.
I mean, can you think of like many other games that have got, this amount of praise from all over the place. It's not just like mainstream, like media. It's from every fucking one, pretty much.
Not really. I mean, I'd say that The Witcher is it's up for being more of a Marmite game than, say, a linear story can be. For example, I've never seen a bad review of The Last of Us, for example.
True.
But you could bounce off of a fantasy open world RPG. So for it to have the praise that it does when it's such an open-ended game and therefore so open to criticism for people who really aren't going to enjoy that sort of thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. And I think part of its brilliance is how impenetrable it is when you first start playing it. I bounced off it completely twice before I finally got into it. I certainly found the combat fucking incredibly annoying at first. And whenever I had a week-long break from it and then went back to it, I felt like I was starting from scratch, like I'd forgotten everything again. So there's something weird going on there with the design. It's not like other games. And that's, I suppose, a blessing and a curse to a degree.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fantastic. And it does something that these giant games can do,
I just remembered something. Obviously playing The Witcher 3. It's fucking annoying having to come off the right thumbstick a lot. I know you can like lock on to enemies, which I've figured out now, which is good. Because so then when you dodge, the camera pans round with you. But when you've got like 3-4 enemies coming at you, you're like, oh fuck, this is a bit annoying. You're having to like move the thumbstick and then press the dodge and then move the camera back around again. I just remembered I have pre-ordered the PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 back button attachment.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah,
how exciting.
buddy. I know, which means I could technically assign that to dodge and still have my finger on the trigger. Well, not on the trigger, on the thumbstick to pan round, which I'm very excited about.
Make a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, like every game will have its different uses, I think. So, for instance, that one, and that would work in most of like third-person games. I'd say like Bloodborne and shit like that. Probably Division as well. That'd be quite nice. But then on like first-person shooters, like I can have jump and slide or reload or whatever down there. I'm just intrigued. I've mentioned a few times recently about getting like a pro controller or whatever.
Yeah, giving you a bit of customization.
Yeah, and I came to the conclusion, what's the point? I've got 2 brand new controllers. I don't need to buy a new one. But yeah, this thing's coming out. It's like 25 quid. I'll give it a burn. It looks pretty solid. I've seen some reviews of it. Everyone's like, yeah, it fits really nice. It works. Does the job. I'm like, cool. I'll give it a burn. So it doesn't come out till obviously Valentine's Day.
Of course.
Which is a gift from me to me.
Yeah.
Because I love myself, really.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't?
It's going to be nice to be one of the first podcasts to be able to properly review that from someone who's got it, buddy, when it comes out. It's exciting.
Yeah, obviously I'll let you guys know how it is or if it's worth anything or not. I'm hoping it is. It's going to be a bit weird, though, I think, training my brain. I'm guessing it'll be... You just get used to it, don't you? Like,
yeah, I mean, if you can switch between different types of controllers...
Yeah, that's true.
You'll be able to work this out. It'd be fine.
Yeah. Gibbons.
And could extend your Witcher 3 enjoyment somewhat, buddy. Worth mentioning, by the way, we had another message from CozmicDad this week when he was saying that he took the plunge on Dragon Age Inquisition and has sunk about 80 hours into it so far for the tune of £3.99. So
there you go. Yeah,
pretty great.
That's a good return on your pound.
That's another game on the long list of games that I've almost bought about 15, 20 times.
So, because you're like, it's like £3. Like, well, let's buy it. It's like, no, we don't need that. It's a big game. We don't need big games. We've got all these other games.
It's pretty mad. He basically said that it's great, and he's no idea how they messed up Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem so badly if they can do this. Which is a fair point. I think it's.
They did it though. They fucking
the
did
fatigue.
it.
The fatigue of the pressure of Electronic Arts is probably
EA.
The answer to that particular question.
Squeezing the teat too hard. I think.
Gibbons. It happens to the best of them. There we go. So yeah. There we are. I just wanted to finish with a big shout out to GigaRam, because he is a community member on the Discord, and he's always sniffing out free video games, especially on PC. And he's always keeping the community up to date on those free games, whether it be the Steam or the Epic Game Store or whatever it is. So yeah, thanks so much, buddy. Your diligent work does not go unnoticed, and we just wanted you to know that. Thanks so much.
Gibbons. I guess, also, like, just a big thank you for everyone that listens to the show. Even if you don't get involved, thanks for listening. If you do get involved, you're better than those other people. So...
Yep, there's a hierarchy.
Yeah, thank you even
more. You're
more.
at the top of it.
Yeah. And then, obviously, if you've donated money, you're just the best person in the world ever.
Yeah, better than all the rest. Better than anyone. And so on.
Talking about donations, buddy, it's that time of year again.
Oh, yeah, hosting change.
Yeah, well, no, we're sticking with it this year. I'm not...
That's the first time
we've in
migrated.
5 or 6 years that I'm not...
I think that's fair.
Not moving about. The people we're with, they've come back to me with like it's some fucking negotiation. They've come back. No, they sent me a quote through for my bill. More like it was like 30 quid. I was like, you know what, that sounds good. So
that sounds good.
I think we've already got the money covered from previous donations. So once again, thank you everyone who's donated for keeping this going for another year. But if you want to chuck us a quid or two, feel free. Shit's on the website.
Details on jfgpodcast.co.uk. And as I said earlier, come join the Discord. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for us.
Gibbons.
And we're feeling good. I'm
feeling good.
Just come get involved.
Apart from my eye, that hurts a lot.
Yeah. I suppose we'll fuck off then, shall we? What should we do now?
I don't know. I kind of want to just spoon this eye out and throw it in the bin, but that's probably going to hurt more, I reckon.
I mean, I'll stick on the Discord if that is going to happen, because that's something I'm going to want to see.
I mean, I could live stream it if you want.
That's probably best. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to fuck off. Thanks so much, buddies. Thanks for listening. And see you again next week. We'll be back. We love a bit of it. And we'll be talking about video games. We'll be having a little drink and discussing anything you've got to say over the coming days. So, cheers again, buddies. I've been Alex. He's been Ash.
Goodbye.
Farewell. You've been listening to the JfG Podcast with Ash and me, Alex. You can find us at www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, where you'll also find our Discord and Street Beat if you want to get involved with the show. Our Facebook is /the JfG Podcast, and our Twitter handle is @the JfG Podcast. We're on all those video streaming sites too, buddies, from TubeTube to twitch.tv /the JfG Podcast to mixer.com, aka beam.fucking-pro. We've got a PS4 community you can join. Just search the JfG Podcast on there. And we're also on Google Plus if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We'll catch you next time.